Thank you. All right. I like this one.
Yeah, good.
Hello, hello. Hey, fam, come on in. We'll be jumping in soon here. Yep, we're live. Come on in, say hello, say where you're from. We work with most states. We have a lot of nonprofits in different states, so I'll link you guys together. So let me know where you're from and say hello. Let me see. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, $1 Million Mama. Where are you chiming in from today? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Atlanta. Awesome. How's the weather there? All right. And then we're just checking, guys, making sure we are both on YouTube and Facebook here. We have Coach Austin here, guys. And
Good morning.
no stranger. He is no stranger. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. How's it going?
Hey, Louisiana family. I see y'all out there. How y'all doing?
We have some exciting news, me and Michelle, that we're sharing next week. Sneak peek. Not going to say much about it, but it's exciting. Yes, absolutely.
Good deal.
And she's over in New Jersey.
Really?
She's doing food programs as well as education and development programs for our youth.
Awesome.
All right. Hello from Louisiana. Sweet treats by Nail. What kind of sweet treats do you have now? I would like to know. That sounds great. I like sweet treats. Do you like sweet treats, Coach?
Oh, too much. Trust me, too much.
Yes.
Too much. Yeah. And especially with time, for sure. Yes, indeed.
Looks like some candles, which I absolutely love. Hey, honey, hubby's watching. And guys, next week is our anniversary.
Okay, congratulations, girl.
Yes, 3 years married. I got that right? We lose track. Let's see. It's raining over there in Georgia. It's beautiful here. It's kind of gloomy, but oddly warm. Oddly warm.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful here in Houston. So yeah.
Beautiful. What's the temp?
Beautiful. It's like 70s right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hurricane just passed through, so we got the wind last night, but we got the beautiful weather this morning for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That always helps.
Yes, indeed.
Hello, Fallen Skies. Good afternoon. Where are you chiming in from? How's the weather there? We're going to be talking, guys, about your foundation today. We're going to be talking about building a solid foundation and how do you build a solid plan, which is my absolute favorite thing to talk about. If you talk to my mother, who may be on here, she would tell you that I started planning my day when I was like in preschool. Started planning every little. So just having a plan, how do you plan properly for your business, for your nonprofit? Because if you don't have a solid plan, then you don't have a foundation to stand on. You really don't. So we're going to dive into that here soon. Hello. Let's see. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, it's on 10/15. We're going to do a little weekend staycation away, 20 minutes away, because so much going on. We were going to go to Tennessee, but some things just happened there. So let's see. Thank you for that, sweet treats. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Michelle said, great couple who works great together. Yes, we do. This thing would not run without both of us, believe me. And Georgia's a rainy day. Let's go ahead and dive in. So we'll go ahead and fade that out. Lovely. Did you hear that fade, Coach Austin?
Yes, I love it.
She just cut it out. All right, we're going to dive in, guys. Coach Austin, he's been on now a couple of times. You guys love when he comes on. So I'm not going to have him go through his introduction because you guys can go back to some of those videos and see those as well. And time is our most valuable resource. So I want to get into this juicy subject that we're talking about today, which is what, Coach Austin?
Good deal. Good deal. We're going to break down the business plan, the foundational element for everything business. Everything business. Before I get going, shout out to my man DJ Kyrie for the shirts, assets, because this is what we're building for in these businesses. So
we can't see it that well, Coach Austin. Can you there? Okay, awesome.
Yeah. I love the shirt. Love the shirt.
Make sure you send me over his link so we can add that in as well.
I will. Yeah. DJ Kyrie, DJ.KHAREE on Instagram. Yeah, good guy. Make sure every once in a while I kind of put that up there so y'all can see. But yeah, and we got to promote each other too. That's what's really important when it comes to group economics. You got to do it on purpose. You know, we got Sweet Treats in Louisiana. You know, we got our brands. We got to keep promoting, so that we can take care of each other and keep the dollar circulating amongst the group. Got to do it. Got to do it. So let me make sure my screen is good over here. I think we still got it shared up. So can you see?
Let's see. Yes. So we're going to just jump right into the business plan, guys. We're going to look at the business plan, and Coach Austin's going to kind of break down each of these components and what it means to have a solid business plan. And if you guys have questions as we're going through this business plan, you'll let us know as well. Coach Austin, before we get started here, what would you say in building a business plan? Let's say I'm watching right now, I have no business plan, and this is something I know I need to do. What is a reasonable time frame you would say that I should give myself? Like, you know what, I'm going to build this plan. It's going to take me, and I know everyone has different time available, but what's the average, would you say?
If you're just starting, and I know everyone's timetable is different. They've started here, they started there. Give yourself a good cyclical year. What does that mean, right? If I'm in this thing and I need to know, say we're in October, so we're going into Q4, right? Give yourself until this time next year to understand what a full business year looks like. You've got to see what your full business year looks like. Okay.
That hit hard for me because I'm a goer. You know what I mean? And so like a year sounds like forever a little bit for me, but that's probably why we need to listen to the coaches who take their time and things like that. Because let me tell you, I've pressed go on a lot of businesses prematurely, and I've had to hit a lot of bumps, and it was a bumpy road. And I'll probably say the average person who did that, it may even deter them and decide, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to go down another road. But if you go in there with a solid plan, this is how you go in there strong. And this is what other people are doing. Some of the majorities and things like that, non-minorities. I remember walking into, there's this little local, little side story here, but there's this little local store here in our area where they only source things locally. So they source the vegetables and things like that, Midwest area. And I went in there and it was really slow. This was prior to COVID, but it was kind of really slow. They were just getting started. They were in for maybe 3 or 4 months. And, you know, I'm a business girl. And so as soon as we went in, we were getting some things. We were like, wow, we just happened to pass by and we didn't, how are you guys marketing? Because we didn't even know you were here. And they were like, oh, we're not doing any marketing in our first year. We're just filling it out. And we're just, just seeing, getting used to the locals and things like that. And I'm like, they have a solid plan. They don't have to get in here and just start going and they obviously have something saved for that year. So this is definitely an important step. I know some of you guys may be watching it and maybe like me, like a year, really? And so, but a solid year to see that whole time and to really do your proper research, I think that's a good way to go into your business with a solid foundation. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then here's the thing too with that year. It doesn't mean you don't have to work your business and then I want to make sure everybody catches a lot of the little, it's the devil's in the detail, right? The minutia behind it all. You want to see a cyclical year of business. Get your pen and papers out. There's be a lot of gemstone today.
Let me get mine.
So if I'm in here working my business, it's October. It doesn't mean I don't get started. I have to get a full cyclical year behind me. So I'm filling in the blanks on what I'm doing, right? So I don't wait a whole year. Now, if I had to say wait, we're going to get into a little bit later on about the market feasibility study. So this business plan template is about 47 pages. Not going to go through the whole thing. But this is viable, and like if you notice on the top right here, if everybody can see it, your game plan is the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have a lifeblood, you don't have a business. So even if you're side hustling it, get a template together so that when you begin to scale and grow, this is what you base everything off of.
Say that
Everything
one
off.
more time. Your game plan is your
Lifeblood of your business.
lifeblood of your business.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Inboxes, and everyone's gonna get a free copy of this when we're done. Okay, if you stay to the end, everybody get a free copy of this template. It's a combination of multiple templates out there, but it will give you everything you need to get started. Everything you need to get started. So I'm gonna just scroll down, right? The second page of this business plan, like most you'll see, right? And it's in Word, so everyone should start filling this out. Put in your business plan name, put in your company name, put in your street address, information, all that. This confidentiality agreement, right? You have the people that are you giving this to, the banker, the investor, angel investor, whomever. They need to sign a confidentiality agreement, right? To pretty much give them an understanding of this is my intellectual property, right? And I really need you guys to take this seriously and don't send this anywhere else. Because now you're out there. Because if you haven't trademarked it and you haven't really taken advantage of it, you might want to slow down just a little bit. Okay. And make sure that they can sign this confidentiality agreement of what you're giving them. Because you're giving them your lifeblood. Okay. You really are. So we've got to see it that way. Now, once we go through, this is the table of contents. Again, I want to go through all the big chunky.
Are you moving through on your end? Because it's not going, it's on the first page on our end.
Hold on, let me see real quick. Give me a second. Hold on.
Just a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back. But in the meantime, and we lost you as well, your video, Coach Austin. So he's just working with that now, guys. There you go. Now he's back.
I'm here.
All right.
Let's see. So you can scroll, but let's see.
Right now,
I'm scrolling over here. You can see the top page, but you can't see the other. Let's see. We're gonna make this thing work here.
We're gonna make it work, guys. Absolutely. No problem.
Share screen. Now we're
Just
up.
do one more time.
All right. So as I think we just had to reshare because we were sharing it beforehand.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was. There we go. No problem. And guys, see, the reason why this is going a little bit smoother is because we had a plan. We came on before and we did somewhat of a planning session.
Somewhat, right? Exactly.
There we go. Now we can get everything going.
Can you see it scrolling now?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let me get back over here. All right. So y'all can see it scrolling now?
I was seeing it scrolling there, and now it froze up again here. There we go. Now we can again.
Okay, fantastic. Let me get back over here. So let me get back into it. So if you can see page 2, Tracy, let me know. But it takes me out.
I can see it. So this is the confidentiality agreement that he was talking about, guys. We weren't seeing it when you were saying it. And look, that's really simple as well. Is this a template that you'll have available, Coach Austin?
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone stays on. As long as we get everyone's email address inbox to you, we'll send this template to everyone.
Gotcha.
Yes,
indeed. Good. So just send them over a message for the template. All right, go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, no worries. Whoever you're sharing your business plan with, this will be on your letterhead. And if you notice, I've got my watermark in the back of it. It's on my letterhead. This is what you can take. You can pretty much cut and paste this thing out of it. The template I'll send over to everybody won't have my watermark on it, and it won't have my letterhead. But there's something you can put on your letterhead and build from there. Yep. So let's go right into it. Table of contents. You'll see executive summary. You'll see company description, right? Products and services, marketing plan, things of that nature. We won't dive into every little itty bitty piece because it'll take us way too long. This is almost like a day class, like a couple hours. But let me scroll down to the highlighted points, right? I highlight these on purpose. Right here, limit your executive summary to 1 or 2 pages. What is an executive summary? If you can give someone, right, that elevator pitch, what is your business? 5, quick sentences, 30 seconds to a minute long at most. This is your executive summary. But notice the details. After you've completed your business plan, come back to this section and write your executive summary. It's the first thing in the business plan, but it's the last thing you write.
So pause right there for a minute. Two things that you said. Number one is you mentioned today class, guys. If that's something you will be interested in and going through this together, please go ahead and message and say something in the comments that you guys would be interested. And we could definitely talk about putting something like that together. Right, Coach Austin?
Yeah. What do you think?
And then number two, I like the way that you broke this into pieces here. So the executive summary, okay, now I feel better. You can put that together. That's a couple of pages there. That's your elevator pitch. So we start there. And now you talk about that year, and you can just easily say, hey, for my first month, I want my executive summary put together. That's an easy go, and then taking it into the next piece and the next piece. So I love that that thought process.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as you start to build your business plan, you're building in a perfect world, yes. If you wanted to start your business, you would fill out the business plan first before you do anything. But not everybody starts out in that space. But if you don't have any type of business plan, you're still running the business. That's fine, right? But take this business plan template and start filling everything out. So if I had to go through, right, and just make sure everybody can still see as I'm scrolling, your company description, your mission statement. So if you're in business right now, and you don't have that filled out, right? This is an example. It'll be a sample statement. Put yours under it. It's a Word document. So actually click on it and start typing is what is my mission? Okay. What is my philosophy and vision? What are the goals? Who is our target market? Let's pause right there. Who is your target market? You have to know to a fine specific detail, because if you're going to go, for example, these SBA loans that were just given out, the SBA loans may ask you, or grant specifically, and you know this, Tracy, it'll ask you, who are you targeting? If I give you this $50,000, $500,000 chunk of money here, who is it serving?
Yeah.
And the first thing out of your mouth can't be, I want to help everybody. No, that don't look right on a business plan. Trust me, I've sat in too many business bank meetings, board meetings, venture capital, angel investor meetings. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, we serve such and such. I'm taking care of such and such. If you ask Coach Austin, who's your target market? My target market is the young entrepreneur, 25 to 45, the couple, 35 to 45. Okay, that's my target market. Why? Because they're the most seasoned individuals. They understand what business is, and they know who they're serving, and they're warm and they're hungry for what they're doing. So I can take that idea and turn it into a business in a heartbeat. If you're coachable, right? If you have your financial pieces together, right? I can work with you if you have something going on. But if you're just like, I'm not really sure, I just like doing this. That's not a business. Not yet.
And you wouldn't be a good fit for each other in your time. There's another coach maybe that's there for figuring out what you want to do, aligning with your passions and things like that. So it just wouldn't be a good fit. So you know who you're serving. And there's a saying that goes, if you are attempting to serve everyone, you'll mess around and serve no one. Oh, gosh, because that's what happens. You know what I mean? So you have to know who you're serving. And thanks, Michelle. She said, what a great resource. And thanks, Coach Austin.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Let's dive right back in, because we're going to get, this is a lot of meat and potatoes today. Your legal structure. Oh my goodness. Legal structure. If y'all been around Tracy long enough, you already know. You got to have legal structure together. It's the social security number, if you will, behind your business. So if your social security number is for you as a person, and your EIN number is the number behind your business, but that's where you need to operate at. So if your business is doing whatever, make sure your LLC, your S Corp, 501c3, whatever, is a legal protection behind you as a person. So Coach Austin, John Austin, sitting here now, but Austin Business Coaching is my business. Okay. That LLC protects me when I'm operating. I won't go into the company description a whole lot, because that's something that, anybody can kind of just jot in. But again, you fill in the blanks and you're good to go. Products and services, we won't get into a whole lot of that, because everyone's going to have their own product and or service. Now, let me scroll down just a little bit further here. I can't scream this loud enough, and this really, in the academic world, they separate the two. The market feasibility study, market research, they separated from the business plan a whole lot. I added in, it said market research first. I added in market feasibility study, because the feasibility study, and y'all can YouTube this until it's blue in the face, you'll see a ton of different people speaking about what is a market feasibility study. And in essence, plain English, it tells you how realistic your business plan is to the market you're trying to attract. And you've got to get it done. Is it expensive? Depending on who you're going to, but you can make it very nominal. We have a very nominal rate, very affordable rate for the two, and we put it as a package together. Because if you just write a business plan, hear me out. If you just write a business plan, you're only going off of how you feel, because everyone loves their business. You can't tell me nothing about Sweet Treats. You can't tell me nothing about Tracy. Everybody loves their business. You got to take the business out of it. You can't feel business. You have to go by the numbers and by what the data is showing you. And if you can do that in a market feasibility study, it will start to break down and give you the nuts and bolts to put into your business plan. That way you're not trying to come up with all the information yourself. Because if you notice, right, the two parts to a market research is primary, secondary. Primary is the information that you put in. Secondary is the information from other sources, right? Total market size, total industry size, all those kinds of things. Is it a growing market? Is it a shrinking market? How much cap space you have? All those little things you want to know, no matter what you're doing. You want to know who's the big boy or the big company that I'm in competition with. Do they care about the small fry? You never know. Can they price me out? Can they do this? Can they do that? How can I come in and be competitive with them? So that'll structure how you get into that market, because everybody wants to be sustainable. But if you don't have a plan in place, sustainability is it's not going to happen. Now you can make money. You can hit a couple people. That's great. You'll make money and make money, make money. That's fantastic. But let's go ahead and fast forward into this piece right over here.
Sustainability. And then pause at that market research area as well. Is that something that someone can do on their own? Or is that something they have to connect with someone else? I know seems like it makes more sense for someone else to do it if you're new coming into the business. But is it something that they could do on their own as well? If that's,
I would say Google and YouTube as much as you can on all of it, on everything. Find out what these terms mean first for yourself. Do enough primary research on your own to where you've exhausted it. And again, you're going through that cyclical year. You'll start understanding the different phases of research and the different parts of research. October questions aren't answered in April, right? March questions aren't answered in December. So you'll have a chance to answer all those questions throughout your cyclical year. So I would say get as much done as you can on your own, but in the back of your mind, hey, when I get done and I've exhausted it, okay, where's my business mentor and or coach that I'm going to end up hiring as a chief operations person or manager, someone that can be with me for about, a couple of years or whatever, and get me started, take the training wheels off. And once I'm off and going, I'm good. That should be the thought process, no matter what your business is in.
And let me pause really quickly there as well and just say that for not in the nonprofit scope, guys, this is why I really love the fact that nonprofits build off a foundation of board members. So when you hear these terms such as market research, market feasibility, things like that, if you have someone in your circle that already happens to be in that market, or already maybe even this is something that they do is look at markets and things like that, that's a great person to have on your board, because now they can do those pieces, connect those dots and do those pieces for you as well. But I think this is even more important when it comes to entrepreneurs, because we have so many solo entrepreneurs that are kind of trying to do it on their own. And if you are trying to do it on your own, it's so important for you to have another set of eyes, a coach, someone who's been there, so that you can really make sure that, like you said, it's not just about something you like, but it's also something that's palatable for the market as well. Correct?
Exactly. It's got to be palatable, because we have to realize what we're doing. It's our passion. It's not going to go anywhere. But it's our passion that we say we're turning into a business. Am I really touching the clients and the customers that I say I'm going to touch? Is my target market being 1,000% fulfilled? That's what we got to make sure. So we got to sit on the other side of the table. Is the banker going to be happy? Are my stakeholders, advisory board of directors going to be satisfied with what I'm putting out there? And that's what that market research will tell me. So there should be no stone unturned. At the end of the day, when you hit the door and you start working, this answers all those questions. Now, will other things come up? Of course, things happen. COVID happened, whatever happens, these recessions happen. If you follow me on IG and even in Facebook, I'll put out things to help you understand why the market is what it is. Why things, if the president says something, or if this company brings out a bad report, whatever, it does affect the ebbs and flows of the market. But if we understand that going into it, and how the markets on a broader scale, and then the markets as far as smaller, local, and regional, how do those things affect me? If I had a client, or have a client still, I'm sorry, his products are in Walmart stores, right? And he has a manufacturing plant that he works with in China. Well, when COVID kicked off, he was flowing really well. It held up his orders to a greater extent. And so specifically, we had to pivot around, how do we get your orders from there to here? And Walmart's like, okay, we'll wait for you. We'll wait for you. But just understanding on a global scale. Again, he's right here in Louisiana, right? But how did that issue in China affect him here? And it affected him way before COVID got to the US.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and understanding your marketing and making sure that you always have an ear to it. Sometimes I would say that I've actually, one of the things that at Clark & Clark, one of the things we like to do is we have programs for every budget. So we have programs if you have a small budget, if you have a medium budget, large budget. But I've actually seen common mistakes when you have a large budget, that sometimes you don't actually do all your research because you're just excited and you got the money to do it at this point in time. And so sometimes, but it's so important as a nonprofit or as a small business to make sure that everything you spend is an investment for your organization.
Have to. And even, you know what, large budget, and I want people to really understand this. Large budget, small budget I'm so glad you made that point. I'm going to scroll over to this one particular piece, because that's a good one. We'll go back to the SWOT analysis just in a minute, right? Small budget, large budget doesn't matter. It's a number. It is a tool that you are afforded the opportunity, right, to utilize. I wasn't going to go over this right now, but let me just scroll down real quick. There's a thing called projections. And a lot of small businesses, projections and forecasts. When you're going to a bank, I'm a new business. I haven't sold a lot of product. I haven't done this much, but I've done this, right? How can a bank give me this much money? Or I'm applying for these SBA loans. I haven't done so much, but I have done this. I maybe filed this tax return, but here's what I'm looking to do. And if I had this much money, and if anyone's watched Shark Tank, is very similar. If I have this much money, I'm going to use this much money for this to get me to here. This is what for example, a 12-month forecast would be. All right. And this is what projections are. Okay. If you don't have projections in place, let me back up. The market feasibility research will tell you exactly how much money you'll need long term. I'm trying to go all the way down to find it because it's such an important point to make. All right. Your 12-month profit and loss projection. What are you projecting in your business you're going to make year 2, year 5, year 7? And how much money do you need to get you from here to there? What is that money going to cover? So my budget may only be $50,000. Yours might be $500,000 because of what you're doing. But if that money is a tool to get you from point A to point B to Z at the end of the day, as long as you're using it for the right purposes, that's why the research is so important.
I was just going to say that. That is why the research is so important, because you don't have to. This can be a little overwhelming if you're at the point where you just had an idea. So you're just like, okay, I'm just at the point where it's an idea. I don't know what I'm going to be bringing in 12 months. This is overwhelming. Well, when you do that research portion, you can look at and see what other type of organizations or what other type of businesses are out here that are doing some of the same things. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can look at what they're doing that's working, and we'll look at what's not working, and how can you, aid and create a solution to the problem of something that's not working, and then go from there. You don't have to. There are probably, for anything you can think of, it's not going to be exact, but for anything you can think of, there's some type of comparison out there. Correct?
Oh, yes. And that's why research is not really. It shouldn't be difficult. It should be fun, because if you're new, if you're a newbie in the market, or you're 3 years or under, honestly, You're still what they may call a neophyte or a rookie, right? So treat it like if you're in football. If I'm a rookie, who am I looking to? Who's the vet that I'm gonna model my game after? Who if I'm a receiver or linebacker or whatever, who can I look to say how have they played the game? So if I'm in business and I'm doing whatever, who has been in the market longer than me? What does the CEO look like? Who's the successful companies and who's falling by the wayside? Again, the research will tell you all of that. And okay, so I'm bringing cakes to the market. Well, who's the best cake maker out there? Who has the best reviews? Who's been around the longest? Who makes the most money? And
Mm-hmm.
who's like, they're over there doing whatever, and who's middle of the road. Examine who they are, and I'm gonna go back to this again. Examine who they are, but you'll be able to see where you fit in and take the good from them, learn from their mistakes, please, because you're gonna make your own as well, right? And it's not bad to make mistakes, it's just how we get over them, how we get around them. So let's go to this right here. So barriers to entry. So you're getting your market research together. You're following this template. You've listened to a couple YouTube videos about market research, feasibility studies, etc. Hopefully by some time you paid someone something, you've hired someone for something to get some more data for you. Things that only your perspective can only take you so far. And that's fine. That's your primary research. Let someone come in and give you that secondary research to put into your hands perspective that, say, my 15 years of experience, you can't compare my 15 to your 3. Just can't do it, but lean on it so that you can learn much quicker. I can give you my 15 years of experience in 3 years to where you should be way further ahead at my 3 than at your 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go right into a SWOT analysis. This is one of the key components that we want to go over, and I'll run through it real quick. But this is where you've got to be honest with yourself, though, because if you look at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? A lot of people will have a scroll. I'm strong in all these areas. Whew. I don't have any weaknesses. I'm only weak in this area, that area. You really should have at least, I say, a 1-to-5 ratio on strengths and weaknesses. You may not have a lot of weaknesses, but you need to really pay attention to what your weaknesses are and compare your weakness to someone else's strength. Why do I say that? If I'm weak in branding,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get into that next. Or marketing, I don't have a big budget for it. I need to hit the pavement hard so people can see who I am. Because if I'm going up against someone else who already has a known name, and I'm trying to penetrate into that market, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. But how can I differentiate myself? I need to know what their weaknesses are. Who are they serving? What part of the population are they not serving? I need to go after them. And does going after them fit my target market?
Mm-hmm. Now
Ask
you
yourself,
said a 1-to-5 ratio. What do you mean by that?
if I got 5 strengths, I need 1 weakness.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
5 weaknesses for one.
No.
Okay. So you got 5 strengths. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
at least,
Gotcha.
because I've seen some people send their business plan back to me, and I got a page of strengths and maybe like 1 or 2 weaknesses. And like, you got 20 strengths and maybe 2 weaknesses.
Uh-huh.
And it's fine because yes, we have egos. We really think we're great, and we all are. We're great at what we do, but we've got to really analyze. Okay, what is my weakness in the market?
Mm-hmm.
Not a weakness to myself, but if I go into business, what is a weakness of mine? Look at other people's businesses, even the publicly traded ones. They'll have their SWOT analysis in their publicly traded financial forecasts. Their business plans are out there. So go look at some of the big boards and see what they say.
Absolutely. And let me tell you guys, the most influential, some of the most game changers out there, they definitely know their weaknesses. They know their weaknesses well. You know, the leaders in your community, they know what those weaknesses are because they've had to learn them so that they can be able to outsource and put the things into play so that those things won't be a hindrance to their strengths. So, so it's a good, sometimes people can't edit themselves. You may need to have someone do this with you, a coach, and or a friend or a family member. But it's so important, guys, for you to highlight your strengths, but also understand your weaknesses so that you can come up with a plan so they don't stop you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. That also allows you, especially having a coach or a mentor, they'll give you an analysis of what opportunities in the market. So if you're looking at opportunities in the market, you'll see opportunities as a certain thing. I'll see them as something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways that you attack the opportunities. Some you hit head on, some you have a strategy for. That cyclical year is important. Some you want to plan for. For example, if you're in baking, if you're in that season to, okay, it's holiday time. How do I attack that market? You want to start building up for that now, for that Thanksgiving, Christmas time of year, New Year's. So whatever your business is, understanding when the opportunities come, when I need to fall back.
Mm-hmm.
When should I hit it? When should I fall back? Things of that nature. And again, that's a whole class by itself. But the threats, this is the one that you've got to be super strategic about. Okay. What can threaten me in the market that can totally wipe me out? Outside of a recession, outside of my own ego, because we're in this COVID season, right? I've been through the Lehman Brothers mortgage crisis. I've been through the financial bubble. When COVID came, I laughed. I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm about to sit down and pivot the yin out of this thing because I'm all right. Because I know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Stock market's falling, people freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting back like this here.
That's so important. That is so important.
I'm
You gotta
chilling.
pause on that note because it was the same thing on my end, and it's the same thing in the circle of entrepreneurs that I'm around. Is that this was a time for growth for them because they had already been doing the work. So it was like, oh, okay, now more people are online, looking online. Oh, I've been going on here live for a couple of years now. Okay, great. They were able to see that opportunity. And what you'll know if you study some of the previous recessions and things like that is that out of everyone, there always bursts a new set of businesses and markets and things like that. There's always a group of people who build during the recession times and kind of see that silver lining. It's a tough time, but it does not have to be a tough time for your business because what it is it's a time where problems are highlighted. Well, guess what? Easy way to build a business is simply solve a problem. So you're seeing what the problems are. How can you really help in a way that's valuable to your community?
Hands down, hands down. If someone asks you about your business, what do you do? Don't directly answer them. Now, there's a gym in a gym here that goes to. There's a software that we deal with, and it's an AI developed software. It's like a $500,000 piece of software that deals with the psychology of the mind of your client. So if someone asks you, listen to this, what do you do? They'll ask me, I said, well, have you realized that entrepreneurs and business owners get a whole lot of false information and they're scattered all over and there's so much thrown at them? What we do is develop a system that streamlines all that information and allows them to take their passion, put it in writing, and become a successful, sustainable business. Now, I've turned the question around and I've explained exactly what we do. We take the confusion out of it, we streamline your business and help you become successful and sustainable. That's how you want to start answering, especially when you sit down with a banker. You want to go from 1, 2, 3 real quick in your answer. Once you get down, that's a threat to most businesses. They don't know how to specifically speak to what I do, what my strengths are, how do I hit the market. And when you say that, any client's open for you within that framework.
Absolutely.
If you don't know that, that's a threat to you. Because if you don't know how to hit your market, anything is going to throw you off. Anything going to throw you off. And I don't know how strong your mind is and how strong your will to make this thing happen, but some people can get knocked the heck out.
Yeah.
And that's a threat. Forget everybody else. It could just be you.
Absolutely. And you know what I heard in that when you said that elevator spiel there? I heard the problem and the solution. And that's what I heard. You heard the problem and you heard the solution that you give. And when someone can hear that right away, they can say, oh, okay. We're actually getting in a time. I've seen buyers change. Buyers are ready to make a decision now. They're like, you know what? I can't wait 2 weeks. Let's get this going now, because they are able to identify value easily. You don't have to oversell, especially if you're building a relationship with your audience as well. So that's a very, very good point. And having this foundation allows you to be there and be present for any opportunity and be able to, you never know when you're going to bump into someone that may be of benefit or maybe a new client or something of that nature. And when you have that proper foundation and that proper plan, you're ready for it.
Yes, very, very so. Very much. I'm sorry. We took a week and something off right before this live actually, and was working on our systems. I didn't take any new clients. I didn't want to entertain anything new. I had to sit down and say, okay, here's the new clients that are coming. This is what they need. I need to work on my branding.
Mm-hmm.
To get my name, my brand correct, I need to make sure as clients are coming in, how are my systems working to streamline this process? So when I take on new clients, I don't have to worry about looking for this and looking for that. It's a quick and easy system. So your systems, and we went over this on the last live, the systems make everything work. So if you're ready to scale from 5 clients to 50 to 100, you got to be able to handle them, because success is a threat. If you become too successful
Wow.
and it overruns you and you can't handle that success, you go from client 1 to client 30, and client 30 is like, wow, this takes too long. And if you tell them, oh, I can get this order done in 5 days, and it takes you 15 days, and
Mm-hmm.
you haven't done the research to know how long it'll take you, so people will wait for stuff. People will be satisfied with the convenience of, I got it, and you tell me it's going to take 2 weeks, I'm good. So I
Mm-hmm.
told you out the gate, it's going to take you a year to get this business plan done. So you already have to go through the emotions of I see. Oh, that's why it takes a year. So I don't have to stop. I'm good. Okay, let's go.
And you
I,
have
I,
to
I knew
know.
that out the gate.
Absolutely. And you have to know in what energy you work best in. Majority of our items that people have, it's 11 to 14 business days. That's just how long it takes for us to make sure that when you're working in the legal area, any little tiny mistake can turn into weeks of delay. So
Right.
trying to rush through something on the beginning end is not going to be it could end up delaying your process down the line. So one thing that I do is, if I tell people the amount of time that it'll take for us to get them their legal documents and coaching and all of those things up front, and if there is someone that's moving and they need to move at a faster pace, I allow for them to connect with someone else, because I know the energy that we do our best work in. And that rushed, emergent 911 energy is just not the type of energy that we really are able to really pull out what the nonprofit is really wanting to do with the community. Our goal is to help you impact. So if we know we're not going to be able to help you impact, you can say, you know what? I already have a system. I know how my system works. If you don't flow with that system, you then are able to avoid all of those glitches and things like that. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Makes
Mm-hmm.
total sense. You really don't need to rush anything in business. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you're rushing something without a plan to rush, now if you're trying to meet a deadline and something's happening and you know if you miss this deadline, it's life or death with your business. Okay, if it's life or death with your business, then yeah, okay, let's go ahead and bring some people in. Let's bring some staff in. Let's make this deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But just to rush because I want to get out there quickly, it's not a smart move. There's no reason to rush. Clients aren't going anywhere. There's enough market space and enough clientele for everybody to eat. It really is. It really is. Don't rush. Don't rush. You got to learn your way through this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Let me jump right back in because I don't want to, again, time is of the essence, and I want to get everybody what they need.
No
Now,
problem. Sideline. Hello, Nini. No problem on being late. We're glad you're here.
oh
Uh,
yeah, for sure,
yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. Now, I added this in because most business templates don't have this piece in here. And it needs to be part of the market feasibility research that anyone can do out the gate. It's the break-even analysis. Okay, you gotta have this understanding. What this means is this, and if everybody can see this, just give me a number 1 in the chat if you can see this. If I need to blow it up, I will.
Let me blow
Right
my.
here, where it goes from loss to profit, that one little dot in the middle, where you've got sales on one side and quantity of units on the other side. Here's the key with that. If I'm selling widgets, right? Let's just be real simple with it. My sales, if my break-even point, break-even means I'm paying the bills, salary, everything's good. Money's coming through. If I sell 10 widgets at $10, I'm breaking even. I'm
Mm-hmm.
cool, right? If I sell 9 widgets at $10, I'm down. I'm bleeding. I'm in the red. Ugh, what do I have to do? What's going on? I'm losing out. Whatever your business or service is, you got to figure out how many of whatever I'm doing. If I'm building a house, how much wood I need, how many nails I need, how much time to get this house built. This is my break even. Everybody's paid. We're good. We didn't profit. I'm explain what profit is in a minute. You've got to get this part down. You got your fixed costs, right? Your FC. You got your margin of safety, which is in a sense, your contingency plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of that's got to be built in. Okay, we can't just come off the rails, because I've seen people make money for a year or two. Oh, coach, we're doing good. Okay, what's your break-even point? What's your fixed cost? What's your soft cost? What's your margin? What's this? What's this? What's that? Not sure. Okay, how do you know you're profiting? Well, my taxes were good. We got a return back. Okay. If
Not
some
necessarily. Mm-hmm.
your wholesale, if any fixed costs get thrown, if your fixed costs get adjusted by 10%, you could be bleeding and not even know.
And let
And
me
most
just pause really quickly on
go
that.
ahead.
I have to throw this in here real quick, Coach Austin, is this is one of the reasons, one of a little bonus tip here, guys. If you are, and Coach Austin does a lot with products. I do a whole lot with service, and this is why I love the service industry. If you do not have a high budget and you can't afford to lose out of a lot, the main thing that you want to do is figure out what can you cut costs in. And when it comes to products, sometimes you have to invest in those products. Sometimes you have to invest in a building if you're going to be selling them physically and things like that. The thing about services is if you are providing change and transformation, then the coaching or the video, those become the assets, and you don't have to, you invest more time than you do finances. So if finances is an issue and you're deciding between service and product, service might be a better solution for you so that you can make sure you're not going in the red too much. So just wanted to throw that tidbit in there because that's one of the reasons I love service, is because you don't have a lot of cost. You know, your costs are websites and things like that. You can cut costs.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you have your soft costs, you have your operations costs. So you've got to be able to know where you're at. And when you get that number down, and if you even notice with companies that we work for, and they say they've got to lay off, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. They've got a little guy in the background in these board meetings, in these conference meetings, saying, "Hey, we're about to hit this number here. If we don't cut back on something, that's why you don't get paid overtime." So people might get upset, but just understand from a business angle, they're looking at their stakeholders, their board of directors, right? They've got to answer to people and make sure that they can hire these folks on. Because if they go over this line, right, and they extend their quantity or they extend their sale or something's off, it affects their profit margin. So when you hear earnings calls on CNBC, right, when these companies have their earnings calls and they were projected to be at 78 cents a share, but they were at 81 cents a share, that's all coming back to this. So if you're a business, run it the same way. You've got to know your numbers hand over fist. I'm a service industry person because I'm delivering a service, but this here works for everybody. Works for everybody.
And you
So
mentioned that Shark Tank. I've heard them they've gotten tripped up so many times on these questions. How much
gosh,
you not knowing those numbers,
yeah.
that they're like, oh, okay, they don't know their numbers. So so this is very important because again, opportunities are always around you. If you're not ready to give numbers, if you're not ready to give who your market is and things like that, then you can miss opportunity.
Big time, big time. And I'll give you a gem that'll save you and probably get you approved at a bank. If the underwriter's kind of like, or the business bank manager is kind of on the fence, if you can come in with solid projections, a number of exactly what you're going to do, let's just say $50,000. If you've got it down to the penny, $51,439.28, and I know exactly where it's going, and Mr. Banker, it is going to affect our bottom line this way. It gives us this much product, gives us this much sales by this date, by this date, by that date. Sir, it'll bring our business to here, year one, here, year two. We'll be able to debt service the loan. Write that down. We'll be able to debt service the loan by this time, this time. So give us an interest only loan for here, give us this much here, we'll balloon the back end. If you can say that, because you've done the research and you know exactly what you as a business owner need, then you're good. Then how can the banker say, I'm not sure, I don't know? He doesn't know your business, so you got to sell it. But if you can say it like that and be on point with it, so if he does say no, then you'll have a tangible answer of why. Okay, what you like with that. But take that information and go elsewhere and you just learn from it. But if you can scale your business out like that, year over year over year over year, it definitely increases your opportunity for success. It definitely does. It definitely does.
Absolutely. It does. Absolutely. You learn from those things and you adjust. I know we're going a little bit long here, Coach Austin. Do we need to do a part 2 on this or maybe talk more about that in-depth video later on as well?
There is one thing I wanted to knock out while we were here, but after we can definitely do the in-depth video because like I said, it does take some time to really get into this stuff. Absolutely. There's one thing I wanted to say before. It'll take about 30 seconds to go into. When it comes to, and we can take the share screen off.
Okay.
When it comes to marketing and branding, don't spend a lot of money on marketing out the gate. Okay. It can be super counterproductive. You want to make sure that your brand speaks before you walk in the room.
Mm-hmm.
When people start seeing the symbol behind them, it starts to catch on. There's ways that you can position yourself. Uh, Start working on your brand first, your online presence first, your content first. So when people Google you or look you up, you've got some brand presence being developed. Once you've got that branding down, you've got a saturation, right? Then you can start marketing to your target market. Once you've told yourself, and even the market tells you, where should I go?
Mm-hmm.
Write that down, work on your
And
branding.
that's the authentic approach. That's the authentic approach to work on your brand first. The great thing about working on your brand is once you know what your brand is, you can always be branding even before you have a product or service, or you can even do it even better. You can determine, you know what my brand is. I've really done this well. I've really done business well. I've really figured out how to fund things well. And I really want to help those coming up behind us to be able to do that in an easier way, to get motivated, especially the unlikely entrepreneur, the unlikely nonprofit leader. I want to see more people in our community, serving our communities who are from our communities. Because that's where you really create transformation. When I can say, I tie to your story, I can resonate with that. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so if you can do it, now I can do it as well. So since that's our brand, as long as we're doing that, like right now in this planning video and things like that, whether or not we're talking about a product or anything like that, that's the biggest mistake I see is sometimes people will lead with products or lead with, and that even if it's the best product in the world, that still kind of gives you doesn't give you the best feeling. It doesn't feel like authentic approach,
No, as you feel like you're being sold to. People will buy, and write this down, highlight it, put it on your wall. People will buy you before they buy anything from you.
Mm-hmm.
They want to buy you. They want to know they'll buy he cares about me. She cares about me. And you can tell if it's authentic or not. Come on. We've been through a lot of mess in this society as grown folks. We know what's real and what's not. And I guarantee you, I'll say this about me. You put my videos and my services up against anybody who's business coaching, I'll run the table with you. Because I know what I'm doing. I've been around enough and I've studied people. I've studied my markets. So now there's people, coach has coaches. I've got 2 or 3 people that are coaching me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting it from somebody. So I'm going to stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
I will. But you've got to have that fire about you too. But people will buy you before they buy anything you sell.
Absolutely.
Trust and believe.
Absolutely, because ultimately there's something similar out there in every situation. The difference is, who am I going to be working with? The difference is do I know this person? Do I know that they have my best interest? And how do you know if someone has your best interest? If they've already given you something, given you a tidbit, given you some type of nugget that you've been able to put into your practice, put into your life that's been beneficial, and there hasn't been any type of financial exchanges or anything yet. That's how you really know that, okay, this person is giving me, okay, I tried that and that worked. Now you're building that trust and relationship, which is so important. It's so important.
Let's actually do this, Tracy, if you want. Let's give them some value today. They're already getting the business template, right? So everybody who's listening, and for the next 24 hours, if you share this, if they inbox Tracy, right? Saturday morning live, 10:10. Saturday morning live, 10:10. We'll get them out a free book on time management, and we'll get them a free book about internet marketing with Instagram. We'll add that to it. Is that cool?
Saturday, absolutely. Saturday morning live, and I'll add something to that.
Okay.
Saturday morning live, 10:10.
Yep.
We'll say an inbox, guys. That's info@clarkandclark.org. Info@clarkandclark.org. For the next 24 hours, Saturday morning live, 10:10. You'll inbox that. And Coach said that he's going to say that one more time, the things that you're going to be given.
Okay, 3 things. An ebook on time management. And most of my clients have, I'll say all of them thus far who have the book, it's a study book. It's not just a read through. Yes, read through, but it's a study book on how you manage your time. As an entrepreneur, you got to have it. And the second ebook is it gives you some nuts and bolts about how to market and brand yourself on Instagram. There's a lot of noise on Instagram, but this is a small little ebook, but it gives you a starting point on how to start putting yourself out there on Instagram, the hashtagging and things of that nature.
And what I'll do, guys, as I was watching this, I was hearing some of my clients like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. This feels overwhelming. So this is what I love doing, is taking a big project, breaking it down into small pieces, and showing you how to get it done easily. So what I saw when Coach Austin was sharing those pieces, I just saw little pieces. So what I'll do is I'll build an entire Trello board that I'll send over for you guys as a template as well. And I'll do a video with it, breaking down each thing as a step. So let's say, for instance, that market research, that would simply be a block that needs to get done, and you can determine when you're going to do it. You'll have all of your steps right there laid out in front of you. And those of you who have already seen Trello, because you know I utilize it a lot, you already know this. And if you want me to add a couple of Trellos on YouTube, please let us know that as well. But we'll make those easy steps for you. I'll tell you how to break that down so it's something that does not feel overwhelming. It's something that feels fun, because it's so important, like Coach Austin said, to make this fun. It should be fun and exciting, because it should be something you're passionate about. So if it feels overwhelming, think of how can I break this down to where it won't feel overwhelming, to where it will feel fun, because this is important to my business, and the steps that I'm doing is allowing me to learn more about my business. You study anything else, why not study your passion and the thing that you really want to bring to the community as well? So I'll add that to it also.
Yeah, Stanford University did a study. I'll leave it with this. They did a study to where having a business plan, even if it took you a year to do, a year and a half to complete, in the process of completing it, they found that 81% of businesses were 170% more profitable.
Wow.
And lasted 10 years longer than those that didn't. 170% more profitable and lasted 10 years longer. And the people in the business, their stress level dropped by half. That's an interesting topic. So something that it can seem overwhelming because you haven't done it yet. But once you do it and you write it down, it takes the stress off of you, because you're not holding all that on your head. And then you can start to write it down and see it grow and see it grow. And okay. And then once you get it there, it's like, wow, I just created this thing on paper, and now I'm seeing this grow and that grow.
You start seeing it come together.
It's phenomenal.
That's it. Absolutely. You start to see those baby steps add up, and you're like, you know what? Wow, I can't even believe I built this. And then someone looks up and say, oh, wow, you did that overnight. And you're like, no, I had a plan. I took each step, one step at a time, took those action steps. And that's going to be the most important things, guys, is to just take those action steps. If you're like, you know what? I need to have this executive summary. Is that what it was called correctly? Exactly. Executive summary. For nonprofits, it's called a letter of inquiry, which is about a one-page letter. And what that basically means is, here's the nuts and bolts. Here's what I'm doing. Here's the problems that I'm solving. Here's my why. So that's a small piece, a small little step that you can start with. But breaking it down into those baby steps is going to be key if you're having a hard time moving forward, or if you're really busy. But just always remembering, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Ain't that right, Coach Austin?
Oh gosh, yeah. Take it a question a week. If there's 30 questions in that business plan template, take a question a week. And I'm an accountability person. You can't tell me you can't do it. No excuses. Get it done. Take a question a week and answer it. Answer it on your own. Do a little research and answer it, and put it down. If you're serious about running your business, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Can people really take out, maybe I don't scroll on Instagram as much and I do this. Maybe I don't watch as much of this, or maybe I don't do as much of that. You've got to start to turn, and that's where the time management book comes in. Take one thing out, put something in. Take something out, put something in. So you've got to really look at your day, and this is the weekend. So sit back and look at your day. Get your calendar, right? And start plugging in. Okay, what do I do? How do I wake up? Maybe I need to get up an extra 30 minutes. Well, I got kids. Okay, we all do. Well, I got this. Oh, we all do. Not an excuse. You got to get it done, because it's your baby. If you really want it, you're going to put that time in and get it done. It's not as bad as we think, though, y'all. I'd rather work 18 hours for myself than 10 hours for somebody else.
Say it again.
I'd rather work 18 hours for myself than 10 hours for somebody else. Because when this week was done this week, a little Ashley asked me, how was your week? I said, my week was good. I put in some work and we're good. And as we get done with this live, and we'll handle a couple of things around the house and just enjoy the fact that we put that work in, because we're growing something. We're growing something for ourselves and our families, right?
Absolutely.
Go grow that thing. Quit messing around with excuses. Ain't no time for excuses.
Not at all. Not at all. It's if this point in time, that's the silver lining I love about this time, is a lot of people have started to feel that. It's kind of like a mass awakening almost, like, you know what? It's time is short. I don't have all the time in the world. If I'm going to do this, I need to do it now. If I'm going to impact here, why am I going to impact people's whys are really being questioned right now, because you can't even come with some products right now in this market, would you say? Just being sensitive to what's going on. I've had a lot of people hold off book releases and hold off because of just what's going on right now. And so everyone is seeing that, that this is the time. This is the time. You never know what's going to happen. We don't know, really. For real now. We have no idea. But showing up every day, connecting to what you're passionate about, and figuring out a way to get that thing manifested, that's your work. That's your work. Because that passion comes from somewhere. Someone said, what are the instructions again? Tell them to them one more time, Coach Austin.
Okay, so within the next 24 hours, you guys need to inbox Tracy. If you can give them that inbox in the chat. Inbox Tracy. All right, and in the subject, you need to put Saturday morning live, 10:10. I think she's got it in the comments right there. And we'll send you out the free template, the free ebooks. Tracy's going to put that Trello up.
Trello board together to make it.
So you're getting the foundation out the gate. You're getting that foundation out the gate. Just send that inbox out and have people watch this live. Okay, share it, send it out, and let them send that inbox in, and we'll get that to them, because we know you got to have a starting point. Don't let yourself overwhelm you guys, please. It's not about that. Take it off, like Tracy said, a little piece at a time. One question a week. Just slowly start to digest it. I still have the business plan. I started my business in 2005. I still have it. It's copied in the garage in a box. I go back to it to see what it looked like, and it was like a $10 on eBay. It's software, but I had to write the business plan down first before I typed it in the software. And we'll go back to class, but take your time, y'all. You're doing the business anyway. So answering your question is really going to help you get better. That's the cool thing. It will help you get better. It will help you. It'll help the creativity process out. You'll hit more clients. You'll do better. I'm telling you, y'all. I'm telling you, I've done it. I've written business plans. I can't even count how many we've written over the years, and companies that we've helped work with. And once you got it, on those days when it gets hard, you got a roadmap. It's viable for it's a roadmap. It helps you. You can't do it on your own. It's impossible. I don't care how many master's degrees or PhDs you got. I'm trying to tell you, in my last class, I had 2 doctors in my class. One of them had a PhD, green belt certifications, this, that, and the other. They're in the class learning. Nothing like I'm some whatever, but everybody's got to have a plan. Follow Tracy and what she's telling you. She's a phenomenal resource for y'all. Y'all are blessed to have her. I'm telling you, and just follow. You got the blueprint now, so follow it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have nonprofit side, we have the business side, we have products, we have services, guys. You have someone that you can look at and see. You don't have to reinvent the wheel once again. Thank you so much, Coach Austin, for coming on. Oh, we had one other question before we leave. They want to know exactly what they get again, which is the ebook, as well as, go ahead and say those one more time. So you get the free template that we just developed today. You get the 2 ebooks, one on time management and the one on the Instagram marketing, right? And we're going to get your Trello features. And that'll be coming to you guys by Tuesday, okay? Because we're about to go to our weekends. I do believe value too. It's a lot of value. I mean, within the 24 hours. All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach Austin, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for staying on with us. Wow, you guys rock. You've been rocking out this whole time. So we really appreciate that, guys. We really appreciate being able to pour into you. We hope that you'll take this information, pull something out, find an action step, and put it on the calendar. Put a time to it. This week, I am going to A, B, and C. Or this month, I am going to not A, B, and C. I'm going to A. Start with as tiniest of steps as you have to, guys. Remember that solving a problem is a business. Creating any type of solution is a business. Transformation is a business. These are things we authentically do anyway. When you find those things and you start there, you don't ever have to sell. You don't ever have to chase money and things like that. Those things come after you, guys. So go out here, find solutions to problems, be a part of the solution, create win-wins. And I will see you all next week at 11 a.m. as well. And then I will also see you midweek. This coming midweek, we'll be doing a Q&A over in my nonprofit group. Last little tidbit. Did you want to mention that group really quickly, Coach Austin?
Okay, so we have a private Facebook group, right? Mm-hmm. So when you inbox, start following me on Facebook, John Austin, you can follow me there. I'm putting out invites. It's a private Facebook only, but we're going over the markets, business. It's a select only group, but everyone in this group here, right? Just follow me on Facebook. Let me know through an inbox that you are on this live, and we'll let you guys in. I'm not putting anything else out free like that. It's all within the group.
It's all awesome. They said, thanks. Great, Jim. Such a blessing. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Great presentation. Great, guys. We can't wait to see you all next week. Coach Austin will also be back because we may be doing that second video as well as that part B, guys. But we hope you have a wonderful weekend. Do some things fun with your family and things like that. And don't forget to share so that you'll be able to get those items as well, guys. We'll see you in the next video.